This video will change your view on the moon landing. It comes from a Reddit theorist and he has listed out 10 intriguing facts about the moon landing that will shift your view on it. Number 1. The odd behavior of crew. Upon their return, some observers noted what they considered to be bizarrely subdued behavior from the Apollo astronauts. Neil Armstrong's refusal of interviews and subsequent reclusiveness, as well as Buzz Aldrin's outspokenness on topics like UFOs and reported struggles with alcohol, have been cited by some as evidence of a cover-up. However, these behaviors can also be attributed to the immense pressure and unique experiences of their historic mission, as well as the personal disposition of the astronauts. Fake moon rocks. The incident involving the Dutch receiving petrified wood instead of genuine moon rocks was an isolated case of fraud and does not reflect on the authenticity of the moon landings as a whole. The vast majority of moon rocks distributed to scientists and institutions around the world have been verified as authentic lunar samples. Trick photography. Claims of trick photography and manipulation of film footage have been claimed by experts in photography and filmmaking. The documentary, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon, has been criticized for misrepresenting evidence and selectively editing footage to support its narrative. Low morale in Apollo program. The Apollo program did face significant challenges, including the tragic deaths of astronauts during training accidents. However, such setbacks were not uncommon in the exploration of space and were not indicative of a faked moon landing. Despite these difficulties, the Apollo program persevered and ultimately achieved its goal of landing humans on the moon. Lack of return missions. The absence of subsequent manned missions to the moon does not prove that the original landings were faked. After the Apollo program, NASA shifted its focus to other priorities, such as the Space Shuttle program and robotic exploration of the solar system. The challenges and costs associated with lunar exploration likely influenced this decision. Missing information. While it's true that some original Apollo-era materials have been lost or destroyed, such as telemetry data tapes, this does not invalidate the overwhelming evidence supporting the moon landings. Multiple lines of evidence, including photographs, rock samples, and independent observations, corroborate the authenticity of the missions. Total government control over proofs. While it's true that much of the evidence for the moon landings comes from government sources, independent verification by scientists, engineers, and other countries' space agencies supports the authenticity of the missions. The idea of a vast government conspiracy to fake the moon landings is not supported by credible evidence and would require the complicity of thousands of people, making it highly implausible. Inconsistencies in shadows. Some skeptics argue that inconsistencies in the shadows seen in photographs and videos taken on the moon suggest that multiple light sources, rather than just the sun, were used, indicating a staged setting. However, experts have explained these inconsistencies as a result of the uneven lunar terrain and reflective properties of the lunar surface. Flag waving. Critics often point to the American flag planted on the moon's surface appearing to wave or flutter in videos and photos. They argue that since there's no atmosphere on the moon, there shouldn't be any wind to cause the flag to move. However, the flag's movement was due to inertia from being set up and astronauts moving it. Crosshairs disappearing. In some Apollo photographs, crosshairs etched onto the camera lenses appear to be obscured by objects in the scene, leading some to believe that the images were tampered with. However, this phenomenon can be explained by overexposure or processing techniques used in developing the film. Lack of stars. In many photos taken on the moon's surface, there are no visible stars in the sky. Conspiracy theorists argue that this indicates the photos were taken on a studio set because the stars should be visible in space. However, the Kmar moon landing soundstage. Claims have been made that the moon landing was staged on a soundstage, citing discrepancies in the background scenery and alleged inconsistencies in video footage. However, careful analysis of the footage and comparison with known features of the lunar landscape have debunked these claims. Scale discrepancies. Critics have pointed out apparent discrepancies in the scale of objects and distances in some Apollo photographs, suggesting that they were staged on a smaller set rather than on the moon's surface. However, These discrepancies can be explained by factors such as camera perspective and the vastness of the lunar landscape. Lack of crater under lunar module. Some skeptics argue that the lunar module's descent onto the moon's surface should have created a blast crater underneath it. However, the lunar module's engine was throttled down as it approached the surface, and the moon's regolith, surface material, is loosely packed, so the engine didn't create a significant crater. Mistranslated transcript. Some conspiracy theorists claim that transcripts of communications between astronauts and mission control contain discrepancies or suspicious language, suggesting that they were scripted in advance. However, linguistic analysis and comparisons with contemporaneous recordings confirm the accuracy of the transcripts and the authenticity of the communications. As used had exposure settings optimized for the bright lunar surface, making it difficult to capture the faint light of stars. Retroreflectors left on the moon. Skeptics question the validity of the retroreflectors left on the moon's surface by Apollo missions, which are used for laser-ranging experiments to measure the distance between the Earth and the moon. However, numerous independent experiments conducted by scientists around the world have successfully detected and measured signals bounced off these retroreflectors, providing strong evidence for their presence on the moon. So what do you guys think? Did the government really fake the moon landing, and was it all a giant hoax? This all speculation. Let me know your opinion in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe.